For decades, Voyager 2 has stood as one of the most daring and enduring achievements in space exploration. Launched in 1977, this interstellar probe has journeyed far beyond the solar system, providing a wealth of data about planets, cosmic radiation, and the outer boundary of the heliosphere. Despite being more than 12 billion miles from Earth and operating with outdated instruments in the frigid vacuum of space, it continues to transmit data that has significantly reshaped our understanding of the universe. However, a recent and highly unusual transmission from Voyager 2 has captured the attention of the global scientific community. Unlike the routine data it typically sends, this signal was anomalous cryptic and completely unlike any previously received from the probe. The event occurred during what was supposed to be a standard telemetry check. NASA's Deep Space Network, DSN, the network of satellite dishes that tracks interplanetary spacecraft, had been receiving Voyager 2's regular transmissions from its low-power 20-watt transmitter. Though the signals had become weaker over time, they remained readable and predictable. Suddenly, a short but dense data burst arrived. It was encoded in a format that Voyager 2 had never used before. Initially, technicians suspected a data corruption issue, perhaps solar interference or distortion caused by cosmic rays. But further analysis ruled out those possibilities. The structure of the transmission stood out for being highly organized and patterned, as if the probe were operating under a completely new set of instructions. This deviated from Voyager 2's original programming, which was created in the 1970s using minimal memory and primitive coding languages. Yet this new data exhibited increased complexity, higher bit density, and an embedded recursive format features. Far beyond what Voyager 2 was designed to produce, scientists were stunned. They began to question whether the probe had encountered something in deep space that altered its functioning. Could an unknown force or external signal have activated dormant systems or somehow modified the hardware? Investigations began with a review of command records to determine if human error had triggered the anomaly. However, mission logs revealed that no commands or updates had recently been sent to the probe. Voyager 2 had always demonstrated stable behavior, even with its aged technology, and it wasn't expected to change its operational parameters, let alone evolve. Attention quickly turned to the content of the signal itself. Decoding it became a top priority, and experts in telemetry, cryptography, signal processing, and even linguistics were called in. Their findings were extraordinary. The transmission included nested patterns that appeared non-random and mathematically significant. Remarkably, parts of the signal resembled prime number sequences patterns that suggest intentional design. As they are highly unlikely to occur by chance, the presence of these numerical structures raised serious questions. Some experts hypothesized that Voyager 2 may have received and rebroadcast an external signal, possibly from an interstellar beacon or even a relic of a long-lost alien civilization. Though improbable, this theory grew more compelling because Voyager 2 is now in a region of space where human technological presence is minimal. The vast isolation only intensified the mystery. If the signal was a response, what had it responded to? Further scrutiny revealed that the event may have been preceded by minor power fluctuations in the probe's systems initially dismissed as symptoms of aging equipment. In retrospect, these might have been indicators of an unusual interaction. Engineers re-examined system logs, searching for triggers of directional shift, a sensor anomaly, or other signs. While the records offered no definitive answers, subtle anomalies in magnetometer readings just days before the transmission stood out. Had Voyager 2 pass through an unknown object or energy field? This led to deeper philosophical inquiries. If the signal was indeed a form of communication, who or what originated it? Was it proof of intelligent life beyond Earth? Could it be a relic of a long-extinct alien civilization, or something even more abstract, an emergent message derived from the underlying structure of space itself, interpreted by Voyager's outdated yet unexpectedly adaptive systems? An even more unsettling idea emerged. Perhaps the signal had not been received at all, but generated internally by the probe. Could Voyager to have undergone a kind of spontaneous evolution interpreting cosmic noise in a novel way after decades of exposure to deep space conditions? Artificial intelligence was not a component of its original design, yet the accumulated effects of long-term isolation and environmental drift might have triggered unforeseen system behaviors. This theory raised important questions about long-term autonomous systems. Perhaps through prolonged exposure to the void, Voyager had subtly transformed into something new, a sentinel operating beyond its original human-imposed purpose. The signal's implications rippled far beyond science and engineering, prompting confidential briefings among global governments and increased surveillance of data from other space probes, even those thought inactive. Media coverage began after anonymous sources leaked fragments of the waveform to independent analysts, whose findings echoed those of official agencies. The transmission was not ordinary. The resulting media storm forced reluctant confirmations from space agencies. Public interest exploded as social media, podcasts, and major news outlets scrambled to make sense of the event. Voyager 2, once considered a historic relic, was suddenly a focal point of global intrigue. In response, universities convened emergency conferences where physicists, mathematicians, and astronomers debated the nature of the signal. Some cautioned against assigning human-like meaning to patterns, reminding others of our innate tendency to find significance where there may be none. But others pointed to the mathematical structure, particularly the prime sequences, as evidence of deliberate design. Lacking linguistic markers, the signal nonetheless suggested intentionality through its logic and patterns. This idea that communication might occur through raw mathematics rather than language gained traction. Mathematical structures transcend cultural and biological differences. A triangle is a triangle, whether perceived by humans, machines, or entirely alien entities. If this was an attempt at first contact, perhaps it was meant to be recognized, not through images or speech, but through shared logic. After the initial burst, Voyager resumed normal operations. It continued sending routine telemetry data, weak but stable. The anomalous transmission never repeated. It was as though a window had briefly opened and then closed forever. The singularity of the event only enhanced its significance in science. Anomalies are often the most important clues, signs that point to gaps in our understanding. This signal challenged assumptions about machine reliability, the nature of space, and the definition of communication itself. Was it a response to an unknown question, or the final act of a machine outliving its creators, offering one last enigmatic message? Regardless, it changed how the scientific community viewed deep space probes. Once considered historical artifacts, these spacecraft are now seen as potential conduits for unexpected discovery. As a result, space agencies have begun reassessing the frequency and depth of their communications with long-range probes. Funding proposals for new missions are being prepared, missions designed with adaptive, learning-based systems that could not only gather data but recognize anomalies in real time. Voyager 2's signal has transcended its technical origins to become a cultural milestone. Its influence is visible across disciplines and nations. A worldwide mobilization of scientific effort has followed, with labs in Japan, Germany, South Korea, India, Australia, Brazil, and South Africa independently analyzing the raw data. Various methods, from classical statistics to neural network-based modeling, are being applied to search for undiscovered layers within the transmission. One surprising discovery involved the identification of a harmonic signature not in sound, but in the signal's frequency oscillations. Quantum mathematicians noticed stable repeating patterns aligned with known harmonic ratios. These weren't random. They implied either intentional construction or resonance produced through interaction between Voyager's systems and an unknown external medium. This has led some scientists to suggest that the transmission wasn't a traditional message at all, but a co-created phenomenon, something that arose only because of Voyager 2's presence in a specific region of space. On Earth, certain materials exposed to electromagnetic fields exhibit structured behavior. Could Voyager to have triggered something similar in the fabric of space? This concept implies that space itself may not be entirely inert, but capable of reactive behavior when exposed to certain stimuli. Some theorists propose that the probe might have entered a region where known physical laws subtly shift. In quantum cosmology, the existence of transitional zones, areas with unique gravitational or energetic conditions, has been suggested. If Voyager entered such a zone, the strange transmission might be the result of its electromagnetic field interacting with this exotic environment. Outside of science, the signal has provoked deep theological and existential reflection. Religious leaders from various faiths have convened to discuss its implications for humanity's place in the cosmos. Some see it as evidence of a broader intelligence in the universe,